If you follow this channel, then you know I use COMC quite a lot. I really love the platform. But as I use COMC more and more, I've also come to realize there are some small things that if it was up to me, I would probably change or at least consider changing. There's certain realities that I can't know as just some outside person on whether some of these things are possible or not. But just as a user, these are some of the things I've thought of would make for positive changes on the COMC platform. Suggestion number 1. Create a schedule of events that will happen throughout the year. For example, if there's going to be a no minimum auction event or some kind of eBay event or some kind of other kind of event that you know of in advance, to put it on some sort of schedule so people can make some of their plans around it. Now, I say this because, there's certain events, especially the no minimum auction fee event, that was really, really beneficial for me. And after that event happened, I've actually bought up some cards in the hope that eventually that would come, thinking, oh, this would be a good card for that particular event. However, I have no idea if there's ever going to be an event like that again. So if there was a schedule where I knew of certain things coming up, I could actually plan my purchases and plan my shipments based on that schedule sometimes. Suggestion 2. Really love that no minimum auction fee event. I would do that at least once or twice every year. That one was just so good. And it's such a great way to offload some of the cards that haven't been selling, that are in that mid-range. It just was a really useful event. I don't know, from a logistics side, I could see how it would be a lot more work for the team there. So I don't know if it's something that can be done super regularly, but if it did become an annual or a twice a year kind of thing, I think that would be wonderful. Suggestion number 3. Make port sales have the option to choose just specific cards instead of just cards within this or that range. Now, I say this because I think this would open up the port sales option as a space to kind of sell lots. Currently, you can kind of treat it like a lot sales, but if I just wanted to sell this 30 random cards together in a batch, I can't really do that with the way the port sales are set up now. So if there was more flexibility to choose which cards you want to put in a port sale and turn it into a kind of a lot sale, I think that could be a really good option. As a buyer, I also think that would be really good because instead of going in and kind of just seeing this pile of randomness, I could kind of see, oh, now this is a set, oh, this is all Kobe rookies, or this is all, I could kind of get a better sense for what's actually in this lot, and I could see the lot as being more connected than a bunch of random stuff, which currently most of the ports are a bunch of random stuff, usually. Suggestion 4. Within the ingestion process, don't require cards that are in the same shipment to become different batches. I feel that this actually prevents people from sending in cards they might be sending in otherwise. I know it does for me. I don't have that many trading card game cards like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering or anything like that. And because of that, I don't have enough to make a whole batch. So if I could just throw in 2 or 3 random ones into my mix of sports cards I'm sending in, I would sell those on COMC. Since I can't, I don't. And I don't see a big reason why those should be considered separate batches. I don't know. It's probably because of just organizational things. It might be a little easier to organize, and maybe a different team focuses on different areas and things like that. I could see reasons why it's done the way it is, but I feel for the person submitting cards, there's occasions where it prevents cards from actually coming to COMC. Suggestion 5. Come up with 1 or 2 additional things that people can use their COMC credit on without having to pay the 10% cash out fee. For example, boxes of cards. I bet a lot of people would choose to buy some boxes of cards that way so as not to lose their 10% cash out fee, especially if it was for a box they might want to buy from somewhere else anyway. I mean, there currently is something where you can use your credit to buy cards from Blowout Cards, but the 10% cash out fee is still calculated in, so there's really no advantage to using your COMC credit in that context. With this in mind, even if COMC considered doing something like occasional breaks, kind of like what StarStock did for a minute, I could see how if people could use their COMC credit to buy into a break, and then the cards won in the break could be ingested into their account as part of the break fee, I think a lot of people would do something like that. Now, it might not have saved StarStock. I don't know. Maybe it was a bad idea for StarStock. Maybe this is something that is a lot more work than it's worth, so maybe it's not a good idea. But even if the breaking idea isn't a good idea, I think having a way for people to spend their money, their COMC credit, without having to pay that 10% cash out fee somehow would get people to buy that, whatever it was, more frequently. Suggestion number 6. Have a grading submission service add-on option, including the possibility of doing a close look at cards before sending them off for grading. Now, I know this used to be there, and I'm sure there's plenty of reasons why it's not there. I mean, there's even a little thing on the website that looks like maybe it will be brought back eventually. I don't know if it was because of all the extreme delays that the grading companies were going through or something like that. But I think it's a great option. I would definitely take advantage of that at times, and especially if I could pay for the grading service with my COMC credit, that would also streamline the process of grading some of the cards that I wanted to grade. So I could even see occasions where cards that I wanted to grade, I would just send into COMC first and go from there for the grading process if I was planning on selling them on COMC later anyway, where they just get ingested right back into my account. I could really see that streamlining the process of grading for a number of cards, and I think it could be a really great service, and I could see it being a decent moneymaker for COMC. Suggestion number 7. When a card is labeled as EX to NM, excellent to near mint, give a few words as to why. When I've submitted cards in the past, I've had a few cards that get that label, and it's kind of frustrating to have no idea why, especially if it's a valuable card. If there was a sentence or a few words or something that explained the reasoning, it would take away that unknown factor, which I, as a seller, would appreciate greatly. Suggestion 8. Add a note section next to each card in the inventory manager section, like you have in the watch list section. That way, a seller can write themselves little notes to remind them of things. For example, I would write down the price I paid for the cards I had submitted to the platform, so I didn't always have to go and look at my spreadsheet when someone made me an offer. And my spreadsheet is just on my computer, so if I'm not at home or if I'm looking at an offer somebody made and I look on my phone, oftentimes I have to wait until I actually get home. I can check my spreadsheet to see how much I actually paid for it, and then I can accept or make a counter offer. Or if there was another card that I was waiting for a specific event or for something specifically to happen before I wanted to put it up for sale, I can make a little note to remind myself. Now, when I didn't have too many cards in my account, I don't think this mattered too much, but as I'm getting more and more cards in my account, I have a slightly different strategy for each of my cards, and if there was a little note section that I could remind myself that only I could see, that would actually help me quite a lot. Suggestion 10. Have some way for buyers and sellers to have some form of communication with each other. There are occasions when a quick communication about something could help things, and it could help to make the market space feel a bit more like you're actually dealing with real human beings and not just faceless voids. Now, I am assuming that COMC doesn't do it this way because they probably don't want people selling their cards then off the platform and things like this, which I completely understand, but I feel like there's occasions when some form of, even if it's some form of controlled communication is there, as long as there's some form of communication if you need to ask a question or if you want to negotiate on some kind of potential like combination deal or something like that you could actually communicate with words, I think would sometimes help. Suggestion 11, and this one may be a little complex, but create tools for sellers to have a more customized shop experience with the cards they're selling. This could be a good way for sellers to also direct potential buyers from off the platform towards their COMC store. It might also help buyers find sellers that tend to more often have the kind of stuff they tend to be looking for. If there was a store and they were always selling the things that I'm attracted to, I would probably bookmark that store and go and check on it regularly. It could also help COMC be a more viable option for people who are trying to create something like a brand for themselves, making COMC a more attractive option to many of the people who build themselves nice stores on eBay. I think this would be a game changer, actually. And I could see how it could be done without causing too much complication for COMC. Suggestion 12. I would either completely get rid of the SRP, suggested retail price, or I would figure out a way for it to be closer to reality somehow. Those SRP figures are nowhere near any sort of accuracy, and sometimes, such as in port sales, they can really cause confusion. Suggestion 13. Include a search feature for people who want to be able to look at more than one category of cards at a time. So say I wanted to look at all the basketball, baseball, football, and Marvel cards all within a search criteria. Currently, I can't really do that. Like if I wanted to see all the cards, the recently added cards from those 4 sections, I can't really do. I have to go one by one sport by one sport. If I could just get them all at once, somehow like click a little checkbox and say I want to look at all the basketball, baseball, football, Marvel, whatever, and then be able to, whatever my search parameters were, included all of those areas, that would be nice. I think that would be a really simple thing to also add. Suggestion 14. Sponsor the YouTube channel Sports Cards once again. If you have any other thoughts or any other ideas, or you've been using COMC and there's some little things that you think would be nice additions, let us know in the comments below. The CEO of COMC has watched a video of at least one video from my channel previously, so who knows? If you have any suggestions below, maybe he'll check them out. Look forward to seeing what you have to say in the comments below. Peace.